Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Justin Case. Say goodbye to that warm weather that came through earlier today. That's because rain and colder temperatures return to the mountains. Our severe weather alert day continues as a few issues are still possible. Chief Meteorologist Andrew Dockery has more on the latest developments in the Weather Center. Andrew?
Yeah, Justin, we've already seen some problems earlier this evening. In fact, Knott County, Perry County, some road slides and even mudslides, rock slides, really across the area. And that rain is not helping. In fact, some of that heavy rain coming down, and you'll notice those raindrops on the Whitesburg camera, and the same story even in Whitesburg and into the University of Virginia area there in Wise. Satellite radar at this time. Here comes the cold front. In fact, a little bit of moisture still sticking around, and I think we'll deal with that 20 to 30% chance once again after midnight and quickly clear up for your Friday. Right now, 65 in Hazard, 60 degrees in Jackson with 63 in Middlesboro. You'll notice the 40s already showing up to the northwest and that cold air beginning to invade in. Now that rain arrives tonight, light snow possible early for your Friday. Once again, no accumulation, but we do clear out Friday into Saturday. Justin will break down what you can expect for the weekend and even next week coming up in a few short minutes.
Andrew, thank you. Some drivers in Perry County should know about a road closure that will continue through tomorrow. You can see here that Pratt Mountain Road near Kentucky Route 7 is closed due to a break in the roadway. Officials say they will not be repairing the road tonight as tonight's rain is expected to worsen the break. The road connects to Route 7 at 2 points, so drivers are encouraged to detour through the opposite end until repairs are complete. A state of emergency was declared in Harlan County today. County officials cite a major mudslide along Kentucky 72 as the main reason. The slide impacts roughly 300 people living in the area. The heavy rain also brought along high winds that tore down trees in the area, causing power problems for those living near the Little Creek area of Harlan County who also live near the mudslide.
It appears that because they cut a road up on the mountain for the owners of the property here, that evidently it's weakened the mountain structure and caused a mudslide.
We are told by people living in that area that power had been restored to their homes. For many, today was just like any other, but members of law enforcement across eastern Kentucky know there's no such thing as a routine shift. In Letcher County, the sheriff's office started off their afternoon attempting to serve a child support warrant. When it ended, 3 people were behind bars. I went to Letcher County today to learn more about the drug bust that led officials to meth, pills, and thousands of dollars in cash. Pulling up at a home in the Cremona community, Sheriff Mickey Stein saw someone he recognized run into the house.
She said, "Who are you talking about?" I said, "I seen Victor Brock run in. I know he's got warrants." She said, "You can come in and search."
Sheriff Stein says Victor Brock jumped out a window and ran away. Stein still had to search for Sammy Adkins, who also had outstanding child support warrants.
You could see paraphernalia laying everywhere, needles, drugs. There was meth, a bag of meth laying on the bed.
18 grams of meth, pills, needles, and $3,000 in cash. And it wasn't long before officials found the man they were looking for.
I found people in dryers, underneath sinks, bathroom sinks. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, you can hide anywhere. Like Sammy, he was underneath a pile of clothes, and the sheriff saw his tattoo, and that's how he located him.
This money will be stored in an account until a judge can determine if it is drug money or not. If it is, the money could help the sheriff's office.
We can put it in our drug forfeiture accounts, which we can use that monies to buy equipment, uniforms.
Sheriff Steins took office about a month ago. He and his deputy have already put 47 people behind bars in that time.
117 warrants served in 30 days. We've served 122 civil papers.
A trend he'd like to continue.
If you live in Letcher County and you're selling meth, we're going to be after you. It's pretty simple.
Fighting the drug epidemic one arrest at a time. Officials also arrested Jeremy Ritchie on an outstanding warrant. They say he was hiding in the bathroom. The woman who answered the door, Ruth Adkins, is also behind bars. All 3 arrested face multiple drug charges. The man who escaped out the back window, Victor Brock, is still on the run. Police are wondering who stole from a Whitesburg business. Early Sunday night, someone stole rocking chairs and clothes from the front of Grace Closet in Whitesburg. They often have people who will rummage through the donations. People leave out in front when they are closed, but this time someone directed a child to take rocking chairs as cars passed by.
You know, you're right across the road from the police department and the fire department. I mean, there's somebody always here. It took a lot of courage for them to do it. You know, they may not have, you know, I don't know what they were thinking.
Police ask if you know who this is to call them. A Clay County man, Randall Eversole, dies after being hit by a pickup truck while riding his bicycle along US 421 in the Burning Springs community. Troopers say the driver of the truck, Crystal Lunsford, was cited for driving her vehicle with a suspended license and later given a sobriety test. Police say Lunsford was not under the influence, and the case is being taken to the Clay County Grand Jury. Trooper Lloyd Cochran says several people walking and riding after dark have died for the same reason.
Well, this is the third or fourth fatality we've had involving pedestrians or cyclists in eastern Kentucky this week alone.
Eversole was taken to the Manchester Advent Health Hospital for treatment before he died. Tonight, Governor Matt Bevin gave his State of the Commonwealth address. This is the governor's fourth time delivering the annual remarks. Angela Reigert has the highlights from the House chamber.
Governor Matt Bevin delivering his last State of the Commonwealth address in his first term before a joint session of the Kentucky House and Senate.
The state of the Commonwealth is strong, very strong. We have much to celebrate tonight.
Bevin, who is seeking re-election, touted what he believes are accomplishments under his leadership.
We've seen 49,870 jobs created, new jobs in Kentucky.
He drew special attention to Senate Bill 1, the school safety bill.
Thank you personally on behalf of these families, on behalf of every student and every teacher and every administrator and every parent in Kentucky.
The governor took only a moment to touch on pensions, saying it's obvious more work needs to be done, but he is proud of the legislature funding annual payments for pension.
This is the first administration, supported in turn by legislation that came out of this body, that has ever funded 100% of the ARC, ever.
Bevin then pointing to pro-life legislation, praising what's been passed, even though there are some that are having to be defended in court. Some stood in a show of support, while others notably stayed seated. While there was frequent applause during the governor's speech after we talked with some top Democrats, some who are running for governor in 2019, who tell us they were less than impressed.
The Constitution provides a choice that I believe is between a woman and her doctor for at least the first 2 trimesters of pregnancy, and I'm going to enforce that constitutional right.
When you talk about economic prosperity, I would question some of his numbers and some of the things he said. There's certain parts of this Commonwealth that are doing very, very well, and there's other parts of this Commonwealth that economic prosperity has not happened in.
It sounded like he was calling for unity, but you've got to do more than just call for unity when you come in front of the legislature. You're going to have to actually show for the next few weeks that you're willing to work with the legislature that you haven't talked to for the last 2 years.
Angela Reigert, WYMT Mountain News.
You can watch the full speech over on WYMT.com. All you have to do is search for this story. A homeless Middlesboro college student is pursuing a degree despite her obstacles. 31-year-old Ashley Napier says after years of drug abuse, she moved away from downtown and into the woods to beat her habit, saying she wanted to better herself and work toward her dreams of being an art teacher.
It's exciting to be able to think that I'll be standing in a classroom one day, being that inspiration to somebody or a child even.
Ashley says by next year she will have completed her associate's degree. Coming up at 11, scientists say 2018 was one of the hottest years on record. What scientists are saying about the continuing trend. And security experts are worried Americans aren't doing enough to protect their personal data.
And the rain chances continue before a drier pattern late Friday. Those details are coming out.
We all want more for less, and Spectrum delivers. Spectrum TV has tons of HD, thousands of titles free on demand, plus your favorite sports channels.